Right. You might need to take that up with Axon.
He's here, you know. So Axon. So one of the questions we get a lot about Axon is a lot of people in the first game, they played Roland, the soldier who also had a deployable turret. And Roland, he handled the support role for the group. And so a lot of questions we got about Axon. Axon is, we spoke about Axon before to the press, and a lot of the healing support role has been moved to Maya. And so a lot of people ask us, well, I really want to play the Axon commando, but I still want to be a support role. Is there a possibility to do that? So I wanted to answer that question today and talk about that. So Axon has a deployable turret, and the skill is actually the one right above on this screen. Bubble shield. What it does is wherever you deploy your turret, it puts a big bubble shield, 5-10 foot radius, that your friends or yourself can stand inside. Now the great thing about the bubble shield is you can shoot out, enemies can't shoot in. And so it has a limited amount of damage that it can absorb, but it can absorb a lot. So if you get that skill, you can, like, if a buddy's in trouble, you can hurry and run up and you can just toss the turret down right on top of them. Now they're not in trouble anymore. And also you've got a big turret killing all of them. So super good there. But that's never enough for us. We want more combos. So to do it further, his top tier. Oh, actually, I should talk about this one. So the skills on the screen here is called Maglock. It's a really fun thing of new and interesting things you can do with the turret. Maglock allows you to deploy the turret on any surface. So you can throw it up on the ceiling, you can throw it on the wall, wherever you want. Which is really fantastic when you're facing a melee enemy. It's just like, it's on the ceiling, now deal with it. So if you get to the very bottom of the skill tree, it's called Gemini. You see the icon that says ×2. You get to deploy 2 turrets. And both turrets have all the abilities that you have purchased so far. So if you have the bubble shield, they will both have bubble shields. If you have Maglock, you can stick them on 2 opposite walls or whatever you want. So another build that we've seen with Axon, which is really fun, is not in this tree, it's in the tree over the middle one, called Longbow turret. And Longbow. Longbow makes it so that if you remember longbow grenades from the first game, they would teleport to wherever your crosshairs were. So longbow turret adds that technology to the turret when you deploy it. So what we'll see people do is they want to play sniper commando. And so they're way in the back, and they're just sniping off enemies, and especially those that do sniper support commando. So when their buddies who are closer up than they are get in trouble, they teleport the turret like 500 yards away, and then he's safe and good to go, and they just go back to popping heads.
Last thing I'll say about the turret is that Johnson mentioned. If you play with Roland and played with the turrets before, one of the things that was really frustrating is that, you can play a co-op game and you throw your turret out and, Mordecai, who's, awesome sniper over here, is just taking out every enemy in the battlefield before your turret does anything. And you're sitting there kind of looking at your watch, waiting for your turret to go away and all that. We have an ability that's just the default turret behavior with Axon where it's called, what's it called? Reclaim? What you can do is after you deploy your turret, you can go to it, if it still has time left on its activation, pick it back up, and it's going to refund some of your cooldown so you get to use it again sooner. So it gets you in a more active turret. This is also really cool if you've done the longbow and you saw the nuke turret in the video. You had a nuke every time you deploy the turret, so you can longbow nuke enemies' heads first. All right.
So I wanted to speak to the support thing. Going along with every character has some different types of gameplay. Every character has a bit of a support role that they can play. And Zero, being a gun ninja, his support role is all about more damage. So this skill here that we're highlighting is in his cunning tree, mid-tier 1.1 wonder. It's called Death Mark. And what it does is anytime you melee any enemy, it puts a mark on them so they take additional damage from all sources. Now, if you really wanted to play a support role, then what you do is you combine that with a new element type of gun called a slag weapon. So slag, this new element in Borderlands 2, slag is sort of our co-op element. Any enemy who gets slagged now takes bonus damage from every other element in the game. So if you're playing co-op, you have one person who's setting them up and someone else just knocking them down. Now, the great thing about Death Mark is that it stacks with that. And so you can do tons and tons of damage very, very quickly. The combo I actually want to talk about here is actually the bloodshed tree. The bloodshed tree is his melee tree. And so first let's talk about his action skill. His base action skill is called Deception. What he does, you hit your button, and he deploys a hologram of himself, and then he goes invisible. And then while the enemies are busy dealing with that hologram, you can go sneak up behind them, you can backstab them, or you can line up a perfect sniper shot. And there's a fun little game there where the longer you're invisible, the more damage your next attack will deal. But the faster you come out of being invisible, the shorter your cooldown will be, and you can go through it. And so every fight you're in, there's a decision: how much damage do I need right now versus when do I need to use my ability? So, and that damage bonus works with both guns and melee, by the way. So in the bloodshed tree, he has a one-point wonder called Execute. And what this does is, while you are invisible in deception mode, put your crosshairs over a target, hit the melee button, and he'll do a dash like 20, 30 feet, and bam, and hit a guy. Now, what's really fun, does a ton of damage. You combine that with the one right below it, Resurgence? I believe it's Resurgence. So many skill names. I apologize. Resurgence makes it so anytime you kill an enemy with melee damage, you heal up a percentage of your health. So you can start chaining enemies so you can deal enough damage fast enough. So then you combine it with the top tier, Many Must Fall. And what this does is, when you use Deception and turn invisible, if you can kill an enemy with a melee attack before Deception ends, you will re-stealth and throw out another hologram. And you can do that. As long as you can keep doing that, you can stay invisible. And so if you get really good and get the right situation, you can kill like 10 enemies in a row. Dead, 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 dead. And you combine that with Execute, you're dashing around. Ka-chow! Ka-chow!
This player does not make that sound.